Hi, everybody. Welcome to a truth meter. I think I'm going to put this on YouTube because I think it's some things that need to be said, but I'm going to get into the 7 pieces of the puzzle that tell you how to take back control of this place, to empower yourself, to take this down. I don't want to listen to anything that's telling me I'm a victim of this, there's no hope, blah, 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 because I'm seeing that going around. I'm also seeing new mind programs, and a lot of these are on society popping up in different places. So they group everybody in under these umbrellas. And one of them is to not listen to yourself. And so that's why I'm putting this up here, because I have my old, this was the banner, I think, on my YouTube channel originally. So anyway, something to be aware of, but we're going to go through these. This is how we stop this, take it down, whatever. And these are things I've pieced together as we go along. But let's start with question everything, trust yourself. This channel was originally designed for me to come out of the closet. Well, no, it wasn't originally for that purpose, but the Truth Meter channel, when I named it Truth Meter Channel, I didn't want my name on here, but when a couple people took the channel over to try to help me, they changed it to my name. But I originally wanted this to be collaborative, all of us working together. Here, I'm going to reveal what I've been finding as I dig and dig and dig. What do you think about it? Because if we're all trusting ourselves, which means listening to ourselves, our soul memory, our intuition, which is the only thing we have to guide us. If we're in a world of lies, the only thing you have to guide you is your inner gut feeling, your inner knowing, your memory. So as we get pieces of that back and trust our intuition, we can all merge it here together and see what feels right, what feels like the truth. So this whole thing with these umbrella mind programs that have been coming up lately, some of them are to make you feel crazy. And I think I've talked about these, I guess not on YouTube, but some of them are to make you feel crazy. You're alone, meaning you're not physically alone. Maybe you are, but still feeling completely alone. Nobody really loves you. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. Like I said, I woke up out of sleep in the middle of the night and they were trying to keep me asleep, and they were plugging into me. Leaving the matrix is futile. Leaving the matrix is futile on a loop, repeating loop. And there was a second sentence to it, and I don't remember what it was. I think it might be something about taking it down or whatever. I couldn't access the second part of it. So I think a lot of us are getting yet another level of programming. So I'm here to try to bring you back to you, to empower you, to remember why you're here. Some of you got trapped here. Some of you have been trapped for a very long time, which means you're immersed in the trauma of these constant resets, and you're asleep because you just can't handle any more trauma. So this is a lot of people that are asleep, and then some of them are asleep because they're supposed to be asleep. Now, who are these people I'm talking about? I'm talking about souls. I'm not talking about robotoids. Souls are people that have a soul body, which means they must be connected to a spirit, a limitless spirit, because they have to put a soul body around it to contain it in here. Okay, so that's who we're talking about. So what can we as souls do to take this down? Because some of us, we all get trapped, because if you enter, you're in the trap, in the hell realm. But some of us enter deliberately to try to help free some of these people that have been here so long and they can't get out, because it's likened, I want to say it's like or likened to a video game that is super hard to get out of. But when you start to break it all down, it's actually simple. So there is a way out. I am one of those people that believe we can get out. And I've been mapping that and talking about it. And these 7 ways I'm going to tell you are how you can help take this down and help get yourself out. And I've put up numerous videos on this. And it's so funny because people's reactions to my videos are, well, this is just hopeless. She's saying, like, basically saying it's impossible to get out of here, when I literally said in the video, this is how you get out, and showed you this is what I've seen. What's your take on it? How do you feel about it? And then there's other people out there saying there's no way out. This is hopeless. This is a movie. We're just supposed to watch it. And then everybody's watching that person, but nobody's saying, hey, why are you saying this is hopeless? That's very disempowering. And all the tricks they have are to keep you attached here. So that's why detachment is a major thing, as well as keep you believing that humanity is bad. And they do this every single minute of every day. And when I say humanity, I'm talking general terms, not trying to get specific. Well, if the word human, blah, 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 I'm talking about souls. Okay. I'm just using the words I got. So, don't want to sit and analyze this to death so that I use the correct word. I'm talking about limitless spirits here. They've got to do it every second of the day, tell us we're bad. That's how they keep us here. Look at any movie, anything. Look at these shootings. Look at all of it. They use the robotoids to confirm it. I've talked about all these things before on different ways that keep us here. So this is going to be how you empower yourself and take this back and take it down. All right, so let's get into it. Number one, did we say enough yet about question everything, trust yourself? I don't know. Let me just, another reminder, this channel is for you to comment, to, I mean, unless we get all the trolls and the BS, then I have to take the comments off. But this is for you to comment. Keep the comments YouTube friendly, please. I chose to take all the videos down in order to save the channel so that it could still be up here if we need it. And so please comment what you feel is right. All right, here we go. Number one, and these are pieces that I put together: consent and permission. We've all heard this, right? Consent, don't consent. And there's people actually out there saying that, I don't want to say people, I've heard one person say that our consent means nothing. Oh my God, I like literally cringed. So, and this is a video somebody sent me to, and I've broken down the difference between consent and permission. I'm going to do it again here, but consent is everything here. And you're going to see why as I lay out these other steps, because this place runs on laws, and I'm going to explain that. And it's stuff that I've seen in sessions, and it's stuff that I've put together. So as above, so below, which means on all these spectrums, all these levels, the same rules are going on that they've implemented here in society. It's all the way up. So most definitely consent matters, but it needs to be permission, not consent. So no permission. All right. So the difference between these two is if you tell me you're going to do something and I say, I don't consent to that, I'm saying I'm not going along with it, but I'm still also agreeing that you're in control. You're in control. You're trying to implement this, and I'm not going to consent. Where when you say you have no permission to do that, you put yourself in control. Now you're the authority. You're in the power position. They don't get to do this. This is your world. So I would rather people say no permission rather than no consent. But I'm happy if you're just saying any of it, to be honest. So these contracts that they get us in, like when we got trapped here, well, you consented to come. Okay, these contracts all have missing data on them. Yeah, we're not getting told the full story, what we're going into, or the fine print. So I'll get to that too. So absolutely, we do not give permission. Number two, so that was number one, consent, no permission. Number two, choice. And if you remember a few years ago, I did a video about making choices here. So I likened it to a video game. Once again, it's kind of like a video game. We're not just watching a movie and we're helpless victims and all we can do is watch this unfold. We're in a video game, which means it's interactive. You have choice, and you can make choices outside of the only choices they give you. Why? Because we're essentially the programmers of the game in a sense, because we're powering it. So nope, I'm making this choice. You didn't give me that choice, but I'm making the choice. So then I did a warning video and I said they're trying to reprogram this thing and take away our choice. And so I told everybody what to do about that. So choices. You have choices. You have free will to make a choice. So you may not have free will in the way it's said, sure, but you're also not a victim because you can make choices. And honestly, it goes beyond even that, which will tie into the other ones here. So you have choice. They love to only give you two choices. And then your brain, which is under so much mind control and wiped and everything, doesn't think, oh, I can have another choice. Why should I pick one of these? All right. Number 3, copyright. We've already talked about this in other videos, so you may have heard it. I'm repeating it, but it's important. It's another piece. I don't give you permission. Number 1, I choose. Number 2, to not do this. Because why? Number 3, copyright. This is one of the biggest ones. This whole place has been copied. That's all AI can do is copy, replicate, imitate, and that means there has to be an original, something that's actually created. So nothing can be created here. We're in a false reality has nothing to do with creation, has to do with replication. So anything you create here is going to be a repeat of what's already been done or utilizing what's already here and just reassembling it. It's going to be reassembling, disassembling. What is that? That's AI. Okay. So copyright, they have copied this place, which means they have broken copyright law. The reason I figured this part out is because I was in a session and I'm doing things in the moment. It's kind of like shamanism, but I don't claim to be a shaman. I didn't study under any shamans in this life. I'm not like indigenous blood that I know of. I mean, I do have druid blood, but that's the only thing I know of that would be. So I'm not claiming the title shaman, but it's similar to that. It's going in and doing work. It's active. It's not just remote viewing. It's active. And this entity was there. I don't remember exact details. I'm sure I've got it recorded somewhere, but it just came to me, which from my soul memory, where my spirit is, it just came through. It was like, you need to say this. And it happens instantaneously. And I said, oh, wait a minute. You know what? You broke copyright law. You can't be here. This is a copy. You copied this place, which is really ours because we're the real spirits. We're the creators. So we've created these worlds that you've copied. And when I said you broke copyright law, and I meant all of you out there, these entities and AI aliens and all these FAs, fallen you-know-whats, and when I said that entity panicked, I saw a look of complete fear and panic. It's like, oh my God, she figured that out. And then I was like, at the same time, I was like, oh my God, I just figured that out. And they are subject to copyright law. Somebody's making these entities pay for what they're doing. Just like if I go rip off somebody's book and rewrite it, I can be sued with a copyright. It'd be a real messy thing, but still, it's the principle. They have to go by the same laws we do here. So somebody's holding them to a law. If they're AI, is it their program? Is the program holding them to a specific law or set of rules that they can and cannot do? And if they break those, what happens? Do they have a kill switch? What is it? What's your ideas? It could be any number of things. If you break this program, there's a kill switch that's going to go on, which means you don't have any more assemble or disassemble or anything. You're gone. So this thing panicked. So they have to follow laws, just like we do. But because we don't know that they have to do that and we don't know what the laws are, they just go ahead and keep doing it. So there is a copyright law. So that brings me to number 4. All contracts here are null and void. Why? Because they copied this. So they cannot enforce anything in here because they don't own it. They don't own this content. They copied it and broke copyright law. That means any contract they try to make with your soul, any contract to a past life, any life where you were inducted into a cult, or any initiation you've made, or any words you've stated in this life, or anything legal, anything, any kind of contract, they slip these in a million different ways, and they've got these AI that certain races that own your soul or that buy your soul body. It's like a big soul market. All these contracts are null and void because of this copyright infringement. They don't own this world. They stole it and remade it in a really poor copy, by the way. Also, these contracts are all null and void because there's no small print. We haven't been told the whole deal about what this is about. In fact, in this life, you can vouch for that, right? You've been told this is a school, you're learning, but then your memory's been wiped. So that's not true. So the contracts are full of lies and omission. So in the law, ignorance of a law is no excuse for innocence. So if you break the law, but you were ignorant to the law, that's no excuse. You're still guilty. Okay. We never got told what the law is. We never got the fine print. That means all of these contracts are null and void, not only for that reason, but because this is a copyright and we actually own this world, which brings us back to number 1, no permission. This is our world. So if you steal my book and make a copy, I own that copy also because I never gave you permission to copy it. So I own the copy and I own the original. So you can do that if you're out there doing work like this, or you're doing it for yourself, or you're trying to break all these past life contracts in this life, whatever, all this stuff. You say it's null and void because you never told me. You never made sure that I understood what was in the deal, what was the fine print. And if you feel like that's not working, you say, well, besides that, you copyright infringement on this place, your copyright. I own the copyright. The souls own the copyright. We're the creators. We're the limitless beings. We're extensions of the creator, which means we're all connected back to that. So in essence, since there's no ownership out there like that, because there doesn't need to be, it's not a place of separation. Any soul can claim ownership to this place because it's ours, for any spirit. Number 5. So you can actually, by the way, you can use all these if you're doing sessions and trying to do removals for people or whatever you're doing. If you're doing work for the world, great. Number 5, permanent deletion. So this is another thing you can do if you've got entities bothering you, attacking you in your space. You've got portals that you need to close up, and you got an entity still hanging around, or anything you don't want to see in the world that they've put out there for us on a future timeline. You can do this with timelines. Permanent deletion. We have to use computer terms here because we're in a computerized type world. So no disassemble, no reassemble. Because sometimes when you get rid of these entities, they okay, they act like they're going and they disassemble and then they're just going to reassemble and come back. No disassemble, no reassemble. And no, see, I'm trying to remember what I say. So if I am removing something or trying to delete, so then I say erase, deprogram, and then I do the final whammy. No the final whammy is permanent deletion, which means, okay, if I erase you, I don't allow you to assemble, reassemble, this is an entity. I don't allow you to go anywhere and hide and come back. I erase you, but you're still in the hard drive or you're still on some backup somewhere. Permanent deletion means you are deleted from any backup, anywhere in the system. You cease to exist. You can't even come back in the program. You're erased from the program. There's no memory of you, nothing. You're gone. So unless that entity wants itself to be completely deleted, it needs to leave you alone. But that's what you need to do. It's not going to leave you alone because that's their nature. And you can even do permanent deletion to anything connected to that entity, anything sending it, just send out a wave. It's your world. You can change it. This is a mind program. Number 6. So 6 and 7, these are biggies. So I'm going to go into this mini story here quick to help you understand how I discovered this piece. This is about sending back karma. So you all know that they bypass everything. So they do stuff to us, and then they bypass having to pay the karma for that by saying, well, but we told you. So you gave them what? Number 1, your consent. Go back to number 1. So, but we told you, so it's not our fault if you didn't pay attention and figure it out and say no. So that's how they bypass karma. So what is that telling you? It's telling you they're afraid of karma. They have to pay karma. And so sending it back to them, what they're they make us live through their karma. And they get to avoid it. And we get to pay their karma. And they get to feed off that loosh. So karmic law is their law. It's a law of reward and punishment, which is, those two words are the very nature of a false reality and a reality based on separation, reward and punishment. So they are not cause and effect. They are reward and punishment, which is based on guilt and shame. I feel like I should be punished, is a way that you can give permission to that. Reward and punishment. If you do what we want, you're rewarded. If you don't, you get punished. If I don't like you, I punish you. If I like you, I reward you. So these are ego decisions. These are low level. This is a low level operating thing, karma. It's not about cause and effect. I've explained this before. If I go out in the sun for 3 hours with no sunblock and I burn easily, something's going to happen. That's cause, the effect. I got a major sunburn, I got sunstroke, I got something. So then I learn, oh, next time I go out, I need to put on something like some clothing or something, or not stay out there that long. Reward and punishment is totally different. It would be like saying, I walk out in the sun decides it doesn't like me, so it burns the heck out of my skin. Okay. That is an AI operation. Karmic law is AI. It's dark. That's what this world is. It's false light and dark. It's all dark. So karma is not my law. So this is something you can state. Karma is not my law. I don't follow it. It's your law. Therefore, I'm going to send back any karma that you're trying to send to me. So let's get into this little story here. I was working on someone, and this is something I've been doing lately, this sending back karma with like a mirror effect. Like, guess what? And I use my hands a lot too, but guess what? You get to pay for whatever you're trying to send to me. It's coming back at you multiplied, and you get to pay it because that's not my law. And I've been not told all the details. So I don't get my permission for any of this. And any kind of contract you think where I got to pay this karma is null and void because you broke copyright law. Like, you can merge all these steps together. So I'm removing something, and I don't remember exactly what I was doing, of course, because I'm way in there. I'm in the zone. I'm not in my logical brain. I am to a certain degree, but That's not what's operating. And I just felt in me again this instant feeling of that I had to say the word decree. By my decree, I had to say that. So as I was getting rid of this thing and I was going to make it pay its own karma, but I was actually going to just permanently delete it. But I was sending back the karma first to anything else connected to it so they could get to pay all that. And because anyway, because that's just how I am. And I'm disgusted with this stuff going on here. So as I'm doing that, this there's like 3 crows that were just going "Rah, caw, caw," like going crazy during this session. And as they were doing that, as I was getting rid of this entity, I was sending back the karma, and I said, and you're going to pay it by my decree. I was told to say by my decree. I've never said that word in my life, I don't think. Maybe I have, I don't know, but I've never used that sentence ever. So then I came out of the session. I'm sending this karma back to you by my decree. So then I come out of the session and I look up the symbolism of crow, and it says that they're the holders of sacred law. So I was accessing some kind of sacred law there when I said that they absolutely cannot get out of. And whomever the lords of karma, when you see the word lord, that's bad. A trigger is like red flag, red flag. The lords of karma, like I'm going to listen to the lords of karma. Are you freaking kidding me? It's not my law. They're going to make you pay somehow. I don't know, or something in your program is going to trigger whatever. I don't know. Anybody have any ideas how they pay? Then right after that session, someone sends me an email, and this person writes revocations and stuff of contracts and things. And it had in there something about decree. And I was like, what? It said, I decree or something like that. And I thought, okay, this is a second sign that what I did needed to be done. And it's something significant by my decree. So this is actually number 7, but it's connected to number 6. So 6 and 7, sending back their karma and using the term by my decree. So I don't know enough yet on number 7 to know when or how often we should be using this. But whoops, I dropped my notes. I did read on it a little bit. So there is some law that I threw back on them. It's an important piece to the no permission puzzle. By my decree has some legal standing that they can't go against. So when I read on this, that's what I got. The term by my decree. So what that means to me is if you say by my decree, it has some legal standing that they can't go against, meaning they can't find any loophole or crack or anything to get around it, like they do with the consent stuff. Well, we showed you in that Netflix movie or series, and you didn't say no. So they don't have any way to go against it. That's super interesting. Let me just read what I've got written here. This whole consent thing is done by omission, which gives permission. They omit the details of what you're contracting to, or that you're even entering a contract, unless we realize it and say no. So that makes it all okay. So these are just more of this. So hang on a second. Sorry. Where did I write this stuff about? Let me pause this while I find where I wrote more about decree. Well, lo and behold, I've got it listed under number 7 by my decree. So let's go back to 6 first before we go to 7. Karma. Let them pay their karma. Don't let them put it on you. Send it back to them. And say that you're going to pay the karma, not me, because it's not my law. I don't follow that law. So that's for them trying to do anything to you, attack you, mess with you, sending people to you to screw with your life. Sending the hive. We got the hive here on YouTube doing it that way too. So karma is not your law. It's their law. mirror it back to them. You can also do this with any contracts, any karma they've made you pay in the past through suffering and all that. Send it all back to them. Number 7, by my decree. So by saying that, I just shove something back at them that forces them to have to follow it because it is their laws. And it means that I gave the order, is what decree means. So that makes sense, because if this is technically my world, because I claimed myself the rightful owner as a creator, and I called them out on it, that they copied it and broke copyright law. I can technically give the order, and I gave the order. So by my decree means I just shoved something back at them that forces them to have to follow it because it is their law. I gave the order. And what was the other piece of this? I got to find it again. By my decree has legal standing they can't go against. Super interesting. So we can be using all 7 of these pieces in taking this down, taking down the control and attacks on ourselves and on our lives, as well as any other work you're doing here. But realize if you're in a false reality and you bring in truth, which is just what I said in those 7 steps, because I've seen it over and over and what it does in sessions, and I've read on it, and I'd like you to read on it to see if you agree that these are effective. If we find nuggets of truth like this, which we have been doing, I'm 100% sure we've been doing that, and you bring truth into a false reality, guess what it does to that false reality? I've talked about this a long time ago. It makes it crumble. It starts to crumble. It can't exist. Either the truth has to exist or the fake has to exist. They can't exist together. So the more truth we bring in here, the more we crumble this place. But I'm as discerning as ever. If you send me something, don't be offended if I break it down, rip it to pieces, because I'm going to analyze every detail of that. I can't have any piece of, or any little nugget of untruth entering into truth, because this is Truth Meter channel. That's what we're here for. We're here to bring in truth, not truth with the pieces of untruth attached to it or disempowering us. It's just like Tony Sayers said, it's the poop in the punch bowl. You can still say it's punch, but it's got poop in it if you bring in the untruth with it. So that's why this is a collaborative effort. We've all got to look together with our intuition, whether that's your gut feeling, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know why, but it just doesn't feel right. Trust that. Trust yourself. That's your inner self. That's what I need on this channel. That's the type of feedback I need. That's the type of people I need working on this situation where we are. We came here for a reason, to take it down, not to go, oh, all is lost. We're just victims. Here's their plan. It's all in astrology. It's all going to roll out like this. Who cares? That's not why I'm here. I read all that stuff. I do astrology. I can look at our plan. That's the whole point, to know what's coming, but also to figure out what we do about it. Because I know for sure I would have never come here if there was no way to take this down. If it was a lost cause, I wouldn't have come in here knowing how hard it is to find the truth and find your way back out. But it's simple. It's buried in complex stuff to make this place look very complex, but it's dot world. I don't know if you've seen my video, dot world. I know you haven't seen it if you're just on YouTube. It's on Odyssey and Rumble. I got a lot of videos up there, so I'm not sitting here doing nothing. I'm working on the world when I can, and I'm getting very heartened by the fact that there's other people out there doing the same. We can do this. There's times when we need each other, though. There's times when I need somebody to look at my energy if I feel like something's been done to me or something is wrong. And I've had people send me stuff and I didn't even know it. It's not happening now, but it was. But these 7 pieces have got me stronger. I've done a lot of different things where it's effective now. So the only way they can get me now is through 3D means, website, the platforms, social media platforms, all this stuff. That's how they're getting me, or trying to send people to me, or the hive mind attackers, this kind of thing. And so I'm here to listen to all of you, what you're going through. I want to know. I want to hear what you think about all this. I'm not some guru that's here just to preach at you. I'm here to give you everything I got and then see what your reaction is or what you think. All right. Question everything. Trust yourself. I'd also love for you to just like, share, whatever you can do. Join in. That'd be great. Thanks, everybody.